It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
Here we go now, baby. The Pete Sousa Show. We are live right now in Villanova, Pennsylvania. Not too far to where the Nova Knicks. Well, it all started right here, right, literally like a 9-iron away. Let's say a solid driver. And we're going to talk about the golf yesterday. A little bit about Scotty Scheffler and John Rahm coming down the stretch. Personal for me, I had $100 to win $1,800 on Rahm, and it was so close. I felt so good coming down the stretch. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about the NBA. We've got our conference finals all squared away. I've got some insight as far as the conference finals are concerned. Some good stories, reasons to believe in certain teams that don't start and end with me, with people who know a lot more than I do. So we're looking forward to talk a little bit about that. Of course, Scotty is back in the studio. keeping us going. We are presented by Slovacics, right? And it's always great to stop by Slovacics. I am far away from Slovacics right now in Philadelphia, but if I was making my regular trip from my wonderful fiancés in the DFW down to our studios in Central Texas in the Alico building, I would definitely stop off at Slovacics this morning. Didn't get that opportunity. Of course, Crawford Austin Properties, Sikora Family Ford, and Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, some key players are keeping us on the air and getting us going this morning. So how about this? We're talking about, Scotty, you need me to check my input a little bit here? Let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Scotty, come up real quick. Let's talk through this. 1 second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go with this. How we doing, Scotty? Input okay?
You sound like you're coming through your computer and not your nice USB mic.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Let's just 1 second, okay? Right?
We're doing this live and on the fly, baby.
Let's get this going. So we go here, right? And then we go here. All right, we'll do it the next time. We'll do it at the break. But to keep it going right now, the question that starts everything off this morning is the NBA Finals, right? What do we think? The conference finals. And I have to start with, when you look at the odds, these are updated odds, courtesy of FanDuel. You have Oklahoma City right now. There it is right there. Thank you very much. The Thunder, they're the favorite to win the NBA Finals right now. The Knicks at plus 450. You see right there the T-Wolves at plus 575, and you've got the Indiana Pacers. Now, the Pacers are the long shot right now at plus 750. Now, I look at this and I think, wow, how much has changed, right? With the Knicks beating the Celtics. Remember, I think the Knicks were a 9 or 10 to 1 before that series opened. And obviously they won in 6 in brilliant fashion on Friday night. So things change so quickly. I love the Pacers as a long shot. I mean, you throw a little money on Indiana, you put $200 on them, maybe you win $1,400. I think they have a good as chance as anyone to win the finals. I think OKC is another one of those teams where it's like, man, under the radar, but not really, right? Under the radar to schleps like me. But as far really as you look at the around the world and around the NBA, Oklahoma City is very deserving of their shot right now. And what they did to Denver. And Jokic, I mean, obviously watching over the weekend, it's pretty obvious that Denver needs help. And, you know, is Jokic going to get it? We will find out. You know, this is going to be now the 7th year in a row we have a brand new champion here, okay? The 7th year in a row we have a brand new champion in the NBA. And my thoughts about this are, look, we talk about what is going on here with parity. And everybody was so worried years ago, hey, what are we going to do about the fact that we've got these super teams that are becoming aligned, right? You could talk about the Heatles, right? With LeBron, D Wade, of course, Chris Bosh, and then Ray Allen coming on board. I mean, that was a super team. We talk about Golden State when you had Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City to go to OKC. Even what they tried to do in Brooklyn, right? And then in LA with James Harden being a part of both of those scenarios. And so the NBA has made changes to kind of wipe that out. And what it's done is it's limited the dynasty. And I'm reading this book right now. It's such a great book. I want to give it a shout out because I'm enjoying it so much. It is called The Big Time by Michael McCambridge, and basically how the 70s transformed sports in America. And it's really about sports television and major events. But one of the things that took more people or brought more people to the table as far as television and drama and what we like to see in the NBA or in the NFL or in Major League Baseball are dynasties. And now with this changeover, we're sort of losing the dynasty. And I know the NBA did it on purpose, right? There's different salary cap initiatives. Now they have the second apron, which basically is like, if you go above this number, you are going to get crushed with your luxury tax, which basically means like you have to be very careful with your salary cap. And it's just going to make it more and more difficult for these teams, right, to become superpowers and dynasties. But the issue there is that's the best part about watching sports, are dynasties. There's nothing more compelling than looking at, okay, are the Patriots going to win this Super Bowl again, right? Are the Golden State Warriors going to win the finals again? Are the Heat going to win again? Will the Yankees win again? Like that gets people stoked. It's just the way it is. And with parity, you could see a little bit of, as far as ratings are concerned, as far as people being driven to their television sets, right? Like that's a situation where I'm a little disappointed in where we're headed with the NBA. Now, that being said, all right, take all that out. Right now, I would be over the moon for a Knicks Timberwolves final, right? I would love it. Anthony Edwards is a huge reason why. And of course, what we're seeing right now with the Knicks, again, right up the street, the Nova Knicks, it's pretty amazing when you think about, by the way, Villanova's championship teams in 2016 and 2018, you know, all the guys, right? The one guy who's gone now is Dante DiVincenzo, but guess what? He's in Minnesota. They could see him in the finals, right? Also, you look at Mikal Bridges, you look at Jason Hart, you look at Brunson, like they're all Villanova guys. There was some NBA pundit, and his name escapes me, but I remember at the time I agreed with him, like to make it like totally transparent. But there was talk that Villanova didn't have one guy on those two championship teams in 3 years that was going to be an impact NBA player, you know, and now they've got a core that's guiding a team to the NBA finals. Like that's amazing what's happening. And oh, by the way, the Pope is involved now. So like you really got to look out for the Knicks. There's something special happening. And that game on Friday was just unbelievable. So a lot going on. And the one thing I want to say about, I think Oklahoma City will win it. Will win the championship. I believe that and that's strictly because of defense, right? They had the best defense in the NBA during the regular season. They are locked in again. They have the best defense in the playoffs. And I think Oklahoma City could be staring down the barrel of their first title. And if you look at these four teams, by the way, yes, has Oklahoma City, as the organization, won a championship? Yes, with the Sonics, right? But not in Oklahoma City. The Knicks, I mean, we're talking, right, like Dave DeBusschere, the 70s, okay? Phil Jackson was on that team. I think it was 71 or 72, the Willis Reed crew. New York will explode if they win a championship. The T-Wolves, never have I ever, right? Never won a championship. And the Pacers, nope, couple ABA rings, but nothing in the NBA. So that'll be cool, right? A new issue, a new championship team. I'm here for that. But I would love Knicks and Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is a superstar, and I think the more and more we get to see him on a stage like that, the more and more all the world will become understanding of that. The one thing I want to say about Anthony Edwards, I've been like sitting on this, not really sitting on it, but I did a couple basketball games with Tom Crean, who was his coach at Georgia. And Tom Crean just obviously loves Anthony Edwards. But he loves Anthony Edwards not because of how good he is, but because of how hard he works. Like Tom Crean, and this was, I did a couple games with him. At this point in time, Anthony Edwards this is last year, so he was a megawatt star. But not last year, but the year before that, a megawatt star. And I remember Crean telling me, hey, dude, we were doing a game at North Texas. And at the time, Grant McCaslin was the head coach. And Coach McCaslin was like, hey, I'd love for you to talk to these guys just about hard work and what it takes. And for Crean, it's real simple. I'm going to talk to these guys about Anthony Edwards because guess what? These guys are playing at North Texas right now. And I can guarantee you, not one of you, and he didn't say this, but he said it in so many words. It's quite possible not one of you has the natural skills and talents that Anthony Edwards has, right? But it's a guarantee that none of you work as hard as him. And that's the special part of Anthony Edwards that I think we're all about to fall in love with. The dude is a dog. And we know that. We see him walking the streets of LA on a victory tour after they just cleaned the clock, right, of the LA Lakers. He doesn't want to be the face of the league, but unfortunately for him, I think that's about to happen because the truth is the guy is probably the best player, if not one of the best players right now in the NBA. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun watching him play. Another quick story, by the way, another quick thought. We got Matt Mosley coming up after this. Cannot wait to get Mose in here. Let me try one more thing with this microphone. I think I can do this. Hold on. How about this? How about this? How about Scotty? How about now? Do we sound better? We're better, right? Yeah. All right. Way better. All right. Much better audio. See that? Just a little bit of audio change on the move here. All right. Next topic. Got to talk about it. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Little dust up this weekend. All right. I did not watch it live. I watched the aftermath. The WNBA, it's on fire right now. I don't care what you say. It is opening weekend. Just from a 35,000 foot view. It seemed like it was amazing. I talked to my man John Tobias. He was on the scene for the game in Brooklyn between, I guess it was Vegas and the Knicks and the Liberty. And he was like, dude, it's amazing in here. He was working for ESPN. I mean, Spike Lee is there. ESPN has done an amazing job of just, wrapping their arms around the WNBA and shining a light on it. And that arena was packed in Brooklyn. And you could feel the energy through the TV screen. And that's great for the WNBA. Interesting to see if they can sustain it throughout the rest of the season. If we get more instances like this between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, I think we quite possibly could. If you missed it, right, over the weekend, Fever and the Chicago Sky, they're playing in Indiana. By the way, the Fever's up by like 30. They won by 30. But I think this was before the half. And there's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark just kind of dapping each other up before the game. But, Caitlin Clark, and if you watch the highlight, we put it up here, but YouTube will take it down, so we're not going to bother with it. But you know the play by now, right? Caitlin Clark, real hard foul on Angel Reese. There's the scrum afterwards. Angel Reese had pushed off, I think it was Aaliyah Boston, to get the rebound, right? I mean, she shoved Aaliyah Boston in the back to get the rebound. Clark sees that and also sees Angel Reese coming up with an easy layup opportunity. So she puts her to the free throw line. It was a basketball play. She got her pretty good. And of course, Angel Reese was pissed. Here's the deal, okay? And I believe the WNBA should embrace these situations. On the back end of that, by the way, there's some ugly stuff that quite possibly there was some racist stuff, and the WNBA is investigating that. And that sucks, right? But what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. The WNBA is going to investigate it, and they're going to see what they can come up with. But that situation blows that happens. Now, on the floor, and when we talk about this rivalry, it's not I hate to say this, right? And it has the Bird and Magic feel, which is before Jordan, right? The NBA is on life support, and the Bird and Magic. Look, a big part of that was the white guy, Larry Bird, and the black guy, Magic Johnson. Kind of brings everybody under the tent, right? Everybody's got skin in the game, right? No pun intended, by the way. But now it's sort of the same thing, and it started in college, but it was way more random. Like, I really want to explain this to people, like my opinion on it. And I believe my opinion is clear-cut, decisive, and spot on in this instance, okay? Now, Angel Reese just really is not that good. Like, she is an amazing rebounder, had 17 boards yesterday or 2 days ago, 7 offensive. Like, she's a dog going after the glass. She eats glass, right? Offensive, defensive rebounds. She is a key component that you would need on a team to win a championship. She's not the main component. She's not the best player. She shoots under 40%, and she's a big. Like, she misses layup after layup. I think she shot 36% on Saturday. Like, she's not like, so as much as this is a rivalry aesthetically, it really isn't much of a rivalry at all. Caitlin Clark, and by the way, I think we're going to see this year, as Caitlin Clark will continue to get better and better. I'm not even saying that Angel Reese will get worse, but like when you look at her body of work in the WNBA, by the way, her team won 13 games last year. And they sucked coming into the year, but so did the Fever. And the Fever won 20-20 and got to the playoffs. And the Fever were not very good last year. You know, Caitlin Clark got some help this offseason, but like it's not really a rivalry, more as it's kind of a sexy piece of entertainment, right? And I don't think Angel Reese is very good. Like for instance, like if this was like Lisa Leslie, and I date myself, or Cheryl Miller, right? Like now we got a rivalry. Now we got Bird Magic. Right now we've got the Bayou Barbie, who is, no question about it, a superstar. Like there is star power for days for Angel Reese. She's got it. Whatever it is, she's got it. And if she wanted to retire from the WNBA tomorrow and start a movie career, like she could, right? I don't know how good the movies would be, but somebody would back it. But on the floor, I think it's going to start to become painfully obvious for people that Angel Reese is not up to the test as a basketball player when it comes to the showdowns with Caitlin Clark. I like Angel Reese. It was cool yesterday to see her get kind of pissed off. ESPN, employer of mine, I love them. They're pushing it a little bit. There was a SportsCenter package where they showed early in the game, and this is beautiful work by SportsCenter, but it's a little toxic. They show Caitlin Clark just drain a three in front of the Chicago Sky bench, and and Angel Reese is on the bench at the time. She's out of the game, and Angel Reese, like Caitlin Clark, like does a fist pump or something, and Angel Reese gives her like a side eye. And on SportsCenter, they do the spot shadow, right? So all you see is Angel Reese giving her the side eye, and of course the SportsCenter anchors are like, "Hey, like how about that? Like like look at that." And I found that to be pretty interesting. So everybody's kind of fanning the flames. The racism BS has to stop, and the WNBA will do whatever they need to do to get to the bottom of that. I was super annoyed yesterday. I still, for some reason, followed Clay Travis, and that guy is just like, I do find him interesting, but I think I need to like, he's going to go like the way of Jason Whitlock, where I just can't have that in my life, because like Clay Travis is like quoting the tweet that the WNBA is going to investigate this. And somehow he like takes umbrage with that. Like, it's like, dude, I get it. Like, I get what you're doing over there at Outkick. And I'm not saying that you think this, but like on no level is racism cool or okay or some kind of like woke thing to try to stop. Okay. I think I like to think I'm nowhere near woke at all. But like, I know what's right and what's wrong, and you got to investigate something like this. And it's garbage to say that you don't, or you shouldn't. I'll tell you what's not garbage. Matt Mosley. Now, the Cowboys could be garbage next year, but Matt Mosley, an insider for the Dallas Cowboys, and also a Texas guy through and through, a North Texas guy through and through. I want to talk to Matt about the Dallas Cowboys, where they are headed as an organization this year. You've got the Pickens move that they made, okay? The schedule has been released. What are we doing personnel-wise? I need to check in with Mosley to hear about all that stuff, and I need some historical perspective on what's happening with the Dallas Mavericks as we head into the NBA draft. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics. We're going to keep rolling on after this short break. We'll be back with Matt Mosley.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extra Co. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extra Co. has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extra Co.
I don't know, if Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble does bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
It is the Pete Sousa Show, but of course, it's always the Matt Mosley Show. We welcome in the great Matt Mosley. Matt, we got a new picture for you, and honestly, I think it's way better.
No, I hope it's not updated. I like to keep the one from when I was about 28 years old in the rotation.
Well, that's when I started to listen to your show. It was when I started to do Baylor basketball, like women's particularly, and I would get on and I would find the podcast, and I was like, "Who is this handsome guy who looks like your paper boy, Matt Mosley?" Wow, you know.
Well, I get final approval on any photos, so y'all send it to me and I'll let you know if you can continue to use it or not.
Matt Mosley, ESPN Central Texas. You can hear him later on this afternoon, the Doomsday Podcast. A whole lot going on with Mosley. I think we have some more announcements coming soon, but for right now, we'll stick with that. Cowboys insider, longtime writer for the Dallas Morning News. Matt, when you saw the Dallas Cowboys schedule release, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you really had a chance to sink your teeth into it?
Oh, I've been, writing and looking at these things for a long time. So I just kind of immediately look for little trends or patterns or whatever. And I thought that holiday stretch, that really, for this team, which has had used to be, they could be good in November and like horrible in December was really their thing for a lot of years. And so I tend to just focus immediately on those months, like when they have a chance to kind of get rolling and when things could fall apart. Because I think all Cowboys fans kind of look at it that way. And I think that Chiefs that Eagles right before Thanksgiving, followed by Chiefs on Thanksgiving, and then they turn around and play that next Thursday night. I mean, that is the meat grinder portion of the schedule. I don't even mind the back-to-back. There's 2 back-to-back road trips. There's the one that involves the Jets, and there's another team in there that's not very good. And then they have a late one with the Commanders and Giants. Is how they finish off their season. I'm doing all this by memory. But
yeah, I'm looking at it. You're right.
Okay, but I think that right around Thanksgiving, that's tough. That's really tough. I do think there's a shot at opening 5-1 or 4-2. I think, and I almost think you have to. Like if you're not at least 4-2 after those first 6, you're in big trouble. So this is a schedule to me that requires early success. There is no slow start available because I think after you get through that first 6, you don't have a lot of spots to make up ground.
Dude, I couldn't agree with you more. I think like you've got to have the opportunity to go ahead and do a great job early on, get the ball bouncing your way per se, get your confidence up. And then, because when you get into the teeth of that schedule late, like you said, a time that can in history has been a tough one for the Cowboys, at the Raiders, the Chiefs, you mentioned the Philly game right there, then at the Lions right after the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, then the Vikings. That's another Sunday night football game. Then the Commanders at noon. That's tough. And then you wrap up with the Giants. What do you think about all the national TV games? I mean, I'm pretty pumped. You got some Romo in there. You got a lot of Brady. That's exciting. A Buck and Aikman. Great job. We got 2 Monday night games. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because as a longtime Eagles observer and fan that you are, like after winning a Super Bowl, how funky the schedule can get. And yet, how funny is it that you win you win it all, and then so you're waiting to see who that first game is. It got to be the Commanders, like a team you played in the NFC title game. Is it going to be one of those great matchups? And of course, because it's the Cowboys and because of the ratings they get, it's the 7-10 Cowboys that's opening up the season. So I do find some of those schedules interesting, and that Philly is all over the map. I think one of those teams, maybe it is the Eagles, that they play on 5 different nights.
Yeah, they do.
I think they play every night this season, other than Tuesday and Wednesday. And the only team that comes close that could end up having the same situation, it's the Chargers, and they would have to get a game later in the year, I think, on a Saturday to make that happen. But yeah, you win it all, and you get a ton of prime time. Now, it used to be like, in Major League Baseball, every team gets an all-star. Used to, the NFL wanted to get every team at least one primetime game. And that's going out the window. And now the Titans, even with Cam Ward, even with some interest there are 3 teams in the NFL that get 0 primetime games. I think the Browns might be one of those. But yeah, all these little trends and things kind of interest me. But you know who has the toughest schedule in all of the NFL? See, I don't. It's hard to say from year to year because we're assuming that all of last year's playoff teams are going to be back, and that usually doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
If we're assuming they're the last year's playoff teams, if we're judging our schedule based on that, the Giants have the toughest schedule in the NFL, which seems really unfair, but it's the Giants, so you and I don't care.
Yeah, we don't care at all.
Yeah, we're fine with them having misery.
How about the Pickens acquisition? This is a guy in the last 3 years, right? Almost 200 receptions. quite the anecdote, hopefully, right, for the Cowboys and for their passing game and for Dak Prescott. I have a theory on this, Matt, and it's a scary one, that this is a series where Dak could be totally unmasked. You know, like almost like at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode where you rip his mask off and you find out, you know, that it's like Brock Heward or somebody. You know, like I think that he can get exposed now because he has the quote-unquote tools that he needs. The offensive line is still a little patchworky, right? It's getting better. The draft, they obviously had an emphasis on that. And again, you correct me because you're the expert. But I am feeling that this could almost be troublesome for Dak because the table is set now for him to have an improved season, right? But what will happen to him this year?
Well, I mean, see, I don't so much think that he gets exposed as like a poor performer as much as, you know, the injury thing seems to hit him so often. And so you really can't run him. And so this one thing that used to be a part of his game, moving around or taking off occasionally, is no longer part of his game. So, but that's interesting. I mean, again, he was not playing well when he got hurt last year. We sort of blame all of last season. People blame that on Dak being injured. And the truth was, he was not good. And they got run out of their own building by the Saints. So, but I mean, I do find it, I think it'll be fascinating because some of the things Pickens does extremely well, which are those deep fades, the vertical routes that you guys used to run at Richmond. There's a lot of stuff that they do. I mean, that's what he's best at doing. And boy, this allows, you can put CD in the slot, kind of do some things with him. The respect you have to give Pickens. I mean, this is an interesting one because they essentially have done what they had to do to try to save that one season a few years ago, which is but that time they had to give up a first round pick, if you'll recall, for Amari Cooper. Now they've given up like a future, a third, and maybe even further down the road, a fifth. So that makes a lot more sense. It just doesn't seem like they had to rip everything up. Now, again, it's always interesting when one fan base is excited and then one fan base is like excited that a guy's gone. You can't help but be like, oh, geez. I mean, like, why do the Steelers hate this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if he's so good and he's 23, 24 years old, like, that's not a great sign when the whole fan base is very happy he's leaving. So, but I tend to think you don't really hear bad stuff from the teammates. And it really does seem to be like he's just kind of, would get carried away on the field and kind of get in fights. And it was kind of a more on the field stuff. So, and even the Steelers GM came out and said this guy never asked to be traded. So, like, unlike a lot of receivers, I don't think he was begging for a way out. And you got him on the contract year. I mean, this is kind of like perfect. I think people thought, oh my gosh, here's another guy you've got to give a contract to. No, not really. I mean, he's going into his final season, and I mean, it's sink or swim time. He either puts up a great season and then he'll be a big time free agent, or he struggles. And I think he's going to do fine. So I think overall it was a solid move, and especially given some of the other receivers they looked at, apparently that some of those names came up, and I think this guy maybe has the most upside of any of the people they could have looked at.
Way too early, but I do want to get your prediction. Will the Cowboys be a playoff team?
I think the answer is no. I just, a lot of times I just look on these schedules. Okay, what divisions are they playing? Who's on there? I mean, you yourself mentioned. I mean, it just stinks when Detroit and all those, when you get two conferences that legit, each of them have, or divisions that each of them have 3 possible playoff teams. I mean, that's a rough place to start. So, I do not think it's likely. But I do think the thing's going to be more entertaining, especially with Pickens involved. And they're trying to get back to having a dominant O-line. I think that this first round pick seems to be solid. I went in there and tried to throw him off a little bit, and I asked, some of the day-to-day media kind of shot me a dirty look.
What did you ask him?
Somehow, it came up about, how sensitive everybody is about Micah. And and he was talking about his media training and some of the stuff he'd done. I don't know, but it was like everybody was crowded around him, and I just said something in typical Mosley sarcasm. I just said, "Have you rolled out your podcast yet?" or something. And oh man, he answered it fine, but given all the Micah stuff that everybody's acted like the podcast is too much, and I think it was interesting, the reaction to it, because
Mosley, I think one thing that's underrated about you that people don't celebrate as much as they should is the rascal in you. The rascal in you is always there, and that's very important to have as a personality. I read that in Al Michaels' book. He said you got to respect the rascal. You got to have a little rascal. So I love your rascal. Now I do only have you for a finite amount of time, so I want to, you're a DFW guy. By the way, I got to mention one more thing while it's on my mind. To what you said, if you remember Baylor, the Jeff Grimes Baylor, when that was started to fall apart, that they were just tough games to watch, right? Like 2 years ago, they had all those home games. It was a brutal watch, and then they changed things up, right? And it was obviously a better football team, but it was more exciting to watch. I think at the very least, you bring up a great point about the Cowboys. Those were brutal watches last year, and I think it will be a better viewing experience this year, right, for fans. I just wanted to get that one in. But I do want to get your opinion now about the Mavs. This whole situation is mind-blowing, going all the way back to the trade, right, at the I guess it was Super Bowl week, so it was right around early February, and now to Nico wins the lottery, and there's so much going on. And one of the guys who you mentored, Tim McMahon, has been my favorite guy to follow through all of this stuff. But what do you make of what's happening to this Mavericks organization? If there was a word you could assign to the Mavericks right now, what would it be?
Oh, I probably just chaos or luck. I think I would have fired Nico the minute they had that great luck, or if you think it's the fix is in. I mean, I'm not, I don't necessarily believe that, but I think that I understand that people have that thought when something that has a 1.8% chance on the heels of, what some would deem the worst trade in NBA history. It does seem like the NBA has a way of some big time makeup calls. So yeah, I think that I think the Mavs are extremely fortunate. I think they put some things in place now that would prevent Nico from doing something, just going rogue, so to speak. But I would have just used this opportunity to immediately part ways with him.
I
Let me
totally
tell you how
agree.
these things work. Yeah,
I totally
think
agree
if they,
yeah,
well, I think that they would. I think probably they're going to be kind about this, which they don't really have to be after what he did. But I think there are some safeguards in place now, and I think that Nico's going to have less and less like authority, and he'll slowly but surely be phased out. I don't know if that's a 1 year process, 6 month process, I don't know for sure. But again, when you become kind of the face of embarrassment in the NBA, and I think this clueless DeMont, he feels embarrassed over what happened, and then they keep making a lot of bad PR decisions. So again, it's interesting that I keep seeing more and more like quotes coming out of anonymous quotes about how they're going to hold on to this pick, but it's almost like Mark Stein and McMahon or whoever are doing this to reiterate and it's almost like somebody's giving them quotes purposely to not make it possible for Nico to mess this up. And I there's something weird going on, because like you'll get these reports that go, okay, they're going to stay there and take their pick. And you just go, okay, well, that's cool. I mean, I think that's what most of the fan base wants, right? And then like 2 days later, the same guy will have another report saying the same thing, which tells me that Cuban or somebody is like really feeling the need to reiterate and say this stuff over and over. When you see weird stuff like that, that's what's going on. There's somebody in the organization that's like, let's make sure Nico doesn't do this, because everybody knows there is a scenario where, you trade this pick and match it up with Gafford and whoever else, and you bring in Giannis. And the reason Giannis is an interesting talking point with this fan base is because many, many years ago, they had a chance to take him and they did not. And it's one of the many regrets of this organization that they passed on Giannis.
I think that's a great point you make about Nico and him being phased out, because I believe that the ownership group is like, hey, we don't want to pay him the supermax, right? Talking about Luka, you've got to trade him. But by no means did they think he will come back with such a pitiful deal. And I think that leads to your point, like, let's just take the bat out of this guy's hands going forward, that he can't do anything big like this, and just usher him out. Like, I kind of feel like that's what you're telling me.
Yeah. It's like you treat him like the Rangers are trying to treat Jock Peterson. You see if you can move him completely out of the lineup, and then one day you just don't let him on the plane again. You just say, Jock, I know we owe you about $20 million or $16 million this year, but we just can't. We don't have a spot for you on the plane. Or how they used to do to me in baseball, just kind of slowly but surely move me so far down in the lineup, they were trying to get me to quit the team. Just keep kind of moving me down the order a little bit.
Trying to run you off.
That's what. Although I had pretty good hands at second, they needed me out there, slick fielding little second baseman. But from a hang in there and make great contact was certainly not a strength.
I can see the Steve Sachs poster on your wall right now. Just love, right? Right? That was probably your guy. Hey, I got one more statement for you, just something you'll get a kick out of. So this week, first couple of days, I'm at home. I'm in Villanova, right? I'm just like a strong driver from where the Nova Knicks were created, right up the road. But my mom, you're going to love this. I haven't told you this. It's better to tell you on the air. Do you know she plays Words with Friends with the Pope and has continued to play with him since he has been elected Pope? How about that? That's a fact, Mosley.
Well, so this just was a by chance online, or was there
no,
it
wasn't like
tie-in?
No, they have a tie-in. He's an Augustinian. My mom worked at Villanova, so she had met him before, and then they're connected by a lot of priest friends that my mom has. So when the Pope was in Rome, one of my mom's best friends, Father Joe Farrell, was in Rome. So they got connected through that. And she used to tell me, hey, I'm playing Words with Friends with Cardinal Prevost. But, I didn't care. I'd be like, what time are the Phillies?
Oh, my God.
Now he's the Pope, though. So it's a big deal. And the guy is the man. And I've already been around talking to some of my priest buddies here at Villanova. There has been a real charge that has been put into the Catholic Church here. So I'm just telling you, Baptists beware. If Villanova can get Baylor back on the schedule, it could be a whole different ball game this time. Not like that annihilation we saw in 2022.
Yeah, y'all had us at 21. I was in that run up. We were a little worried in that, and then we won the national title that year. But I'm a fan of this Pope, and I mean, the fact that he's American's fun. I like all that time. He's doing some good things in Peru.
Yes,
he's good. And now that I've watched the movie Conclave, I feel like I could basically be a Catholic. I don't even think I need confirmation. I watched the movie. I know how it happens. Like, I'm kind of the Stanley Tucci of Catholicism at this point.
I can see you outside with the pad and a pen, dude, covering the whole thing. I think that would actually be better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it. And the Mormons, I think I'd have a much better run as a Catholic than a Mormon. They're worried about me. They're worried about me because I've been a little bit tough on the Mormons with some of their NIL activities. But yeah, well, that's very cool, man. I'm glad you told me that. Pope Leo, he better get a lid on that older brother out in Florida. We got a total.
We got a Billy Carter situation brewing, is what we have. Right?
He's got to get a lid on that guy for sure.
All right, Mosley, no lid on you today. ESPN Central Texas. Love the visit. I'll be seeing you soon. I'm going to head over to the Brazos Landing the Thursday before Father's Day, and we will we'll cheers over there. But I appreciate your time, Matt. You're always the best, man.
That sounds good. I hope you and Scotty can use some of this. I'll see you.
All right, see you, bud. Matt Mosley, just one of the all-time best, one of our favorites. And as by the way, as the show continues to grow, Mosley is responsible for that. We got 12,000 subscribers now, and we appreciate dudes like Mosley being a part of our little mission here, the old pirate ship. All right, we'll be back after this. Scotty and I are going to wrap it up. I got some final thoughts. We'll see what Scotty's got on the top of his mind. But I do want to talk a little bit about the PGA yesterday, how it played out, and how my heart was broken. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics. Back after this.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
MOSLEYMD.com. I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the MOSLEY MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again. MOSLEYMD.com.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internix.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Polo Neuro is a new kind of wearable. that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better. You sleep better. And you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science. Take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at grencoscience.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Engels 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
All right, we're back. I'm in Villanova. My mom's upstairs. She's got a big luncheon coming up. She forgot about, so she's getting ready. It's a shame too. The Pope thing with Mosley I was talking about. So I'm like kind of like my mom's Pope PR guy because she's not telling people, and it's a really cool story. We were walking around the block yesterday or 2 days ago, taking the dog for a walk, and we bump into Villanova's basketball general manager, Baker Dunleavy. Great dude, right? Mike Dunleavy's son, his brother, obviously, Mike Dunleavy Jr., Golden State's GM. And anyways, we're talking about, Baker knows my mom because they're neighbors and we're all chatting. But then I forgot to bring up the Pope. I was so pissed. I was like, I got to lead with the Pope for my mom because it's such a cool story. It was great to get Mosley's feedback. It's tough to excite Mosley, so that was neat. By the way, one thing, Scotty, can you come up for this? I just want to see your reaction. This is like kind of bigger news today. What do you think? Dude, we've done a whole segment about A&M and did you see their softball team lost to Liberty? And you scroll through Twitter now. See, I'm a part of Texas Twitter and Big 12 Twitter now because I've lived here for so long and cover it. But
you're starting to understand, Pete.
What about Shahan? He was Texas, Shahan Jayaraja, a Baylor grad, but obviously an amazing writer for CBS, college sports, college football.
Excellent journalist.
Excellent journalist. He just said, A&M fans, how do you do it, man?
Yeah. Did you see?
There's so many other tweets like that, right?
Did you see the chart that showed athletic department spending in the past year?
No.
Let's do this. Let's do this for a segment tomorrow.
Okay.
They have outspent every other school in America by a crap ton.
Really?
And the results have still been catastrophic for them. Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
It's always been that way, Pete, my whole life.
You can't say that. You can't say it's always been that.
It's true. They're part of a cult, and maybe it's cursed. I don't know. But it has always been the case as long as I've been alive that they talk big, they spend big, and they are mediocre. Which is what I said weeks ago. I said it's not a bad athletic department. They've never been terrible at these sports, but they've never been great ever. Outside of some baseball stuff, one women's basketball national championship, but mediocre, man. That is the name of the game in College Station, Texas.
This never happens. A number one seed playing in their home stadium does not lose. When I say it never happens, it's never happened. It does not happen. Liberty upset Texas A&M. It's what in the world?
Maybe God's on Liberty's side now. Who knows?
Well, it is Liberty. It is Liberty. You have anything? I want to give you an opportunity. Anything on Scotty's mind?
Man, I was thinking as you were talking about the NBA kind of situation going into this week. You said a statement. You said in the last 7 years we've had a brand new champion, but I just want to clarify: we've had different champions every year, but most of them aren't brand new. The Celtics and the Lakers obviously aren't brand new. I'm so pumped. 3 of these teams could win their first championship. I know the Sonics, like you said, but for these teams, for these cities, it could be their first. And for New York, it would be their first in about 50 years. So that is actually, I could not disagree with your first point at today's show more. I think the parity is wildly fun. I'm kind of glad we're not dealing with Golden State again in a dynasty or the Lakers. Like, I'm kind of hyped. I'm kind of hyped about this. I'm kind of excited. And I think the area where I agree with you is I also want it to be, I think the most fun series would be T-Wolves Knicks. And I think Ant Edwards could finally submit.
Come on in, Lori.
You good over there, Pete?
Yeah, I'm good. My mom's lunch date is here. We got all kinds of great stuff happening.
Well, we got to wrap the show up. But anyway,
so we're good. So it's perfect timing. Tomorrow, I do want to talk a little bit more about the PGA, because the way that I was, oh man, it was such a bummer. I mean, literally, I went over to Murph's house, right? Our golf guy, and was ready for the ultimate finish. Okay. By the way, Lori's big time up here. Lori, she's one of my favorites. So she's like a cousin of mine. Scotty, come back. Where are you going? I need you. I'm talking to you. I need you on the screen for this.
Oh, I thought. Okay, sorry. I thought we were changing.
Oh, there's my Aunt Susan is here. And Susan is here. So we got a whole lot going on. So the last thing I wanted to tell you about with, by the way, Lori, it's CIA. I swear to God. Okay. Did you hear me?
I heard you.
Yeah. So
did everybody watching this.
Yeah. CIA, dude. We got the Pope. We got the CIA. This is a big operation over here. All right. So I went over to Murph's. We've got the final round, the last 9 holes. I'm over Murph's house. He's got this whole thing, Scotty. He's well beyond you and I. It's like Xanadu over there, dude. They got these big white dogs, this pool, everything. And I'm ready to watch John Rahm win me $1,800 after placing just 100 on it at the behest of Murph. And what happens? The dude falls apart. That could be a curse in itself. The live golfers, dude. I have an issue with that, but for another day. Tomorrow we're going to have Scott Lauer, former Hornets radio guy, a New York guy. I got to get his take on this series, right? You got the Knicks, you got the Pacers, you got the Garden. It's all happening. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have King McClure talk NBA draft. He may even come to the studio. So we're getting you set all weekend. By the way, as Scotty mentioned, 12,000 subscribers, right? Is that it? I mean, come on, dude. You know how many we had this year? Like we had this many a year ago, right? And how many subscribers over the past 28 days?
5,500 over the past 28 days.
And I want to tell you, there's nobody in a country that's far away from here clicking buttons or whatever. This is it, folks. This is authentic, just like we bring you every day. Pete Sousa Show, of course, riding shotgun the whole time. Scotty Swingler. All right, Scotty, anything else?
Well, see you tomorrow, Pete.
We'll see you tomorrow. Christy Hunt weighs in on the chat. I mean, gosh, she's the best. And so are you, Bear the Truth. Bear the Truth. Scotty B, the Baylor King. Isn't it great to have? Mom, look. Do you want to say hi? Hi. Hey, come on over. Just show yourself. Just show. All right, she's got to go. All right. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. A lot of fun. Mom's got a big lunch. We'll see you later.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured,
had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.